Hello people, it's Axel here from Happiness Life Coaching, and I wanted to share a recommendation for a great coach that I've had a chance to work with. Now, I want to mention why she is such a great coach and also who could benefit from being coached by her. And so this is Jennifer Crespo, and you can find her on social media with the tag name Transform with Jen. She's a coach in the US. Well, she kind of travels all over. She is based in Miami at present. But what is it that makes Jen such a great coach, and why would I recommend her? Now, if you're into coaching, counseling, therapy, or any mode of being that requires helping others, you know that we need to get coaching ourselves. And I get that from a variety of sources and coaches, depending on the modeling I'm seeking for on what it is that I'm trying to achieve. Now, what is it that makes Jen such a fantastic coach? So I can think of, well, quite a few things, but three that I want to mention. So number one is she listens patiently. Now, by listening, I mean that she won't just listen to the first 70 or 80% and then switch off and start clicking ahead over as to what is the solution I want to prescribe. She is very curious, and she remains patiently curious. And I think that's such a great trait, because if you're patiently curious like Jen is, you're more likely to find out not only what is the presenting challenge, problem, but what is the underlying one. And then she can address something that can help us in a greater way. And I found that she is really amazing at listening patiently. So if you want someone who can listen, I think Jen is definitely somebody I'd recommend. The second thing that I'd recommend is that Jen is, and this is a combination of traits, open-minded, very open-minded, and highly experienced. And I find that to be a kind of a rare thing. And what do I mean by that? Because I think if we're honest as coaches, if we're highly experienced and if we have years of experience, chances are that on certain subjects we've already formed maybe some opinions. And so we are more likely to want to guide a person down a track. And there's probably some function to that. However, there are many times where that won't work. And so to be highly experienced and yet remain very open-minded about the experience of an individual, that is, I think, a fantastic thing, because she'll make you feel comfortable. You're going to feel comfortable opening up more and then providing information that, while you didn't think it was relevant, it's actually very relevant to helping yourself and having her help you in a practical way. So being that combination of being open-minded with highly experienced, to me, that is a trait that actually shows humility. Because if we're highly experienced and we cease being open-minded, well, then that thinks that we kind of think that we have all the answers. And Jen is just so the antithesis of being a control freak. She's just so like being willing to hear, why do you think this is, and what do you feel about that, and why, but not so much in the traditional way of psychology, but in a way that really helps you to find some good answers. And the third thing that I think that I love about Jen in her coaching is that she is enduringly patient in guiding you to your own reasoning and to your own conclusion. And enduringly patient, again, that is a skill set. Why? Because if someone doesn't know what questions to ask, or if somebody's trying to guide you down one conclusion, and they ask you, and I've met some coaches like that, and they ask you 2 or 3 questions, and your answers are like, if they ask you a rhetoric, or what they think is a rhetoric, and you say, no, I don't think that doesn't apply to me, well, that's dead end. It finishes there. And so she is very patient, because I think it relates to this thing about being open-minded, and it relates to this thing about listening, because she's really trying to get a whole picture, so she doesn't either, prescribe over-the-counter medicine, so to speak, or a blanket rule, but she's really trying to help you find what is the issue here. Now, these traits for me are very important. And so if those traits are important for you, I strongly recommend working with Jen. And now, who particularly could benefit from working with Jen? Well, you know, if you're quite developed in an idea of what you want to achieve and close to conclusion, sometimes you want somebody to kind of give you some tools right there and say, hey, these are the tools, this will help you, this is what you can implement. Sometimes you can get that from books, you can get that from a group coaching program. However, if you're on the exploring phase of coming to a discovery of what is your problem, challenge, the situation, if you're in that exploring phase, it is fantastic to talk and be helped by somebody like Jen. Now, does that mean that if you're experienced, you can't benefit from somebody like Jen? Well, I think quite the contrary. Because when we are experienced, now I might have clarity and I might be very advanced on one area of my life that I've wanted to achieve something. So I might have on this area of my life here, you know, I've got a lot of clarity here and this has been working. I just want some directives. This other area, that seems pretty good. But there's this other area of life, and it could be, you know, any subcategory under, whether it's business, whether it's personal coaching, relationship coaching. In some sub area, you might need some more clarity. And so Jen is going to be ideal to providing that without imposing. And then once you have clarity, she's going to give you some amazing tools. So I think that is an area, you know, people who could greatly benefit. If you can think of an area in your life where you are discovering and open to discover, you know, well, what's the real challenge here? What's keeping me from achieving ABC? Then you'll greatly benefit from Jen. Also, because of her experience in travel with money and business, I think she's an excellent coach. And because she is so hungry for furthering her knowledge, and, you know, and she invests in herself, which, by the way, all good coaches should. We should all invest in some form of coaching training. Well, because she's so good at that, she's very happy to share gems, not only that she's concluded, but things that she's learned from other sources. So she's very generous in sharing tools that will be of great value. And I think that is great. I can think that of being of great value in the business field. If you're trying to set up a business, if you're trying to think of, you know, what would be a great business idea or a way to create some passive income, she'll be fantastic at that. And also on and another area that I think that, or people who could benefit greatly from Jen, is if you're wanting coaching on any relationship dynamics. And by dynamics, I mean, you know, the way you interact with, and it could be with family, it could be with friends, it could be with work colleagues, it could be with your significant other, could be with siblings, children, in relationship dynamics. And that's because Jen deeply cares about people, and she cares about helping people connect in a better way. So they're just some of the reasons why you'd benefit greatly from having a chat with Jen. So if you go to Transform with Jen, and by the way, this is not a paid sponsorship or anything like that. I mean, this is just, I only recommend services or people that I can from the heart say that, you know what, you are going to get something of great value. And so, you know, don't miss out on that. Just connect with Jen and just find out, you know, how can she best help you? And I'm sure that it'll be a growth experience that you're going to enjoy too.